This is WAMD Radio, the only station for mice and men. Today is March 16th for men. Today is April 28th for mice. On tonight's After Action After Hours, Silver and Gold, our correspondent Sheer Winfer reports. To all concerned, we set out from Raven's Rock Portal into the Thorned Archway, intent to explore and guard some of our freshly trained mice into their first foray into the dungeon. With Nidal in tow to bring a little extra safety to all involved, we had barely begun when we entered the pedestal room, with our new compatriots deciding it might be a puzzle that they can solve. I light my torch and follow along with the rest of the party. Catherine managed the pedestal, changing the gem inside to an earthly green hue to one of a fiery passion. While one of our newer friends dug at the sand, I had an idea. If this gem is fire, would not more fire satiate it? I dip my torch into the recess and suddenly it retracts. The metallic platforms hung in suspension move up, pulling up from some unknown hells two very large cat-like fire elementals. They make their names known, both in unison but also differing, as surety and control. They say that we have been invited by the Cane, but it is not the case. They make their stance on trespassers known, and the penalty for trespass seems to be blood. They say they are not manifestations, but physical presences. We ask them what they are, and they gladly oblige in turn. Surety describes to us the natural order, the food chain, the cycle of life, and how all must be in its rightful place in the world. Control describes itself as the opposite, the engine in which creatures better their position on the totem pole of life and those who bring power to bear over others, conquering the order that was decided not by those within it. They seem at odds during this, seeming to react to the others' claims they are making, and seething between the two elementals boils over. We move to continue our foray when they speak in unison once again. We will pass, we must pass. If you are not offering blood, then you must offer invitation. They require one of two things from us, and the former surely means death. We do not possess the latter. Our new druid from the docks infers that invitation is not what we think it might be. Nidal steps up and speaks to them in elemental communication, in thoughts and gestures, and tries to pit them against each other, asking each in turn to convince us why the other's invitation is not the correct choice. Surety claims that control is an illusion. Control says that surety is offering the status quo with stagnation as its reward. A slot opens up within the pedestal, glowing and oscillating between a white and golden light. A slot that looks like a coin would fit perfectly. Nidal stands conflicted, and we think about the choice he must make. He begins to move towards the pedestal, some coins clinking in his paw. Gold and silver of mundane make, but they will fit regardless. The elementals continue to bicker, and Control gloats surety, assuming he has won Nidal's favor, as Nidal is mighty and yearns for more. Nidal suddenly changes his attitude, seeming to close his eyes and ponder the coming from some epiphany, rejects Control, and vies for surety favor. While the elementals argue, I decide to take off the ring of life that is House Winfer's boon and ponder if it would fit. It contains both silver and gold. I am curious if it might be an offering to the pedestal slot that will satiate both elementals, both sides of the coin, for it occupies the space between both life and death. It magically shrinks before my eyes, seeming to want to be inserted and offered. But Nidal is too headstrong to consider thinking deeper at this time. His mind is made up. He places a silver coin into the slot and puts great force of will through into the movement. He calls upon his spirit essence and draws into the essence of surety for good measure. His fingers burn, but as he reaches for the newly minted soul coin, or one that is very similar to the ones that we know, now has his face etched upon it, with a flame above on the other side. Both elementals vanish, but we can tell that magic still filled the air and stone beneath our feet. We believe there is yet another chance to see if my thoughts are right, if bringing these two elementals to balance might somehow be viable. Exhausted and unsure exactly what we must have just witnessed, we decide to head home for the safety of our houses, far from the eyes of either flame. Keep the wind at your back. House Windfur. Well, folks, sounds like there is balance and imbalance. Are you the type of person to be going for control of your own life, or do you like the safety and surety of things that are predictable? Things to think about. One thing is sure, you should join us next time on After Action After Hours. Thank you for listening, and remember, all mice die, but not all mice truly live.